Hey guys, how's it going? This is Dave Sebastian, coordinator of mentoring arts programming for Wayside, Youth and Family. I'm sorry if you guys came at 3 to work with me. Doing the whole home school thing with kids is extremely difficult. So I apologize to you guys for once again being late. We are transitioning today to all of the programming being at 3 o'clock. This is mostly about kids in school, young adults in school, that I hope I'm working with since I don't necessarily see everyone. So thank you for coming over to be with, to hang out with me. Today we're going to do some collage work. Working with the Mr. Monster comic, which is sort of like a sort of horror comic from 1988. He's kind of like a monster hunter. He was a character from the 50s, and Michael T. Gilbert, who's an artist that I really really inspired me in a lot of ways, is the artist that drew this. All of my projects are about artists that I like or that have influenced me, and about like sharing them with you guys. We've covered a lot of guys. The last big project we did was with Ben Templesmith's artwork. I've been working with a lot of different folks: Bill Elder, Jack Davis, R. Crum, Dave Sim, Jack Kirby, all folks that I really like. That I wanted to share with you guys. This project is called the Open Comic Project, and I've been doing it now for a little more than coming up on 2 years. Excuse me. And we've done about 80 of these. So today we're going to work on another one. Just a piece of the story, because my intention here is not to cut the panels out and tell you the same story without words, because I am removing all of the text as much as I can from the pieces that I create, because it is about the artwork, and it isn't really so much about the text. I love writing, and I think that the writers in comics are incredibly talented. This has really just nothing to do with writing. So it's about the artwork. So what I'm doing is cutting a lot of that stuff off so that we can, build something totally visual. So before we get into it, I can show you that real quick. This is the pile of stuff that we're going to work with. I've already disassembled the book. I actually this is everything I could use. So this is what we're going to work with. But before we get started, I wanted to tell you real quick a little bit about my programming. My program is called Greenhouse Graphics, and if you're here on my YouTube page, you know that. I work with Wayside Youth and Family, which is a human service agency out of Framingham. I've been working with them for about 7 years. I was hired to be a mentoring artist, which is to create arts programming for the young adults, 16 to 26, as an engagement method and some time management. I started in the Tempo Young Adult Resource Center in Framingham at 68 Henry Street. Oh, man. Apparently, I'm extremely tired today. We built a studio in the basement there. We did that back in 2013, I believe. When we're allowed to be there, we are there Wednesdays and Fridays from 10:30 to 3. This is an open studio program, and you can come in and do whatever you want within the confines of what I have in the studio to use. I work with a lot of different types of media, so I have a huge amount of different types of media that you can use there. Young adults come in with an idea, and we just try to figure it out. Sorry, you guys, I don't know what the deal is. I drank like 5 coffees already today. Okay, so my program is with Wayside. We created the programming with a grant from with a partnership with the Department of Mental Health. And when I'm not in the studio in Framingham, the Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, I'm bringing our programming to the young adults of Central Mass who can't get to the studio. the pandemic has kind of helped me, because normally in a year I work with about 100 young adults, and this is direct work, like spending time together, drawing together in my program or in their programs, or on the road of any kind, hair on my pad. Yeah, we bring it to them, or we find out where they are and try to bring arts programming to them. So working virtually has allowed me to create arts programming live, so interact with you guys directly if anyone is interested. I've had very little interaction on YouTube. I find it to be another great platform, and I've done quite a few videos on there. I think between YouTube and Facebook, I think I have about 50 videos. So you can watch me live here like this, or you can just come and watch the live videos off, when I'm not live. I like the idea of being able to catalog a number of projects. That seems to have been going really well. And I've had a lot of fun with it. If anybody has any comments or thoughts, please feel free to put them in the comments there. I am absolutely reading those comments, responding to those comments as much as I can. I am interested in anyone pitching a project they'd like to do. The last few projects we've been doing is collage, paint marker, airbrush. What else did we do? We did ink tints. We've done ink painting. Here we are in Inktober. And I think today is the 5th, so I've already missed 5 prompts. I'm going to have to jump back and do each of those. So, that's kind of the spiel. I apologize if in any way, if this doesn't, this isn't what you're interested in. So we're going to be together working on this collage. It's a Halloween kind of thing. So hopefully, you guys will dig it. All right. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to kill those and move this over here. So this is the collage surface that we're going to work on. Get right in there for you. Sorry about that. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you guys can see some of the individual pieces. This guy's artwork, like I said, is really interesting. I'm excited to share it with you guys. The very first thing I do with a collage project, first set up my materials, my X-Acto. This is the surface that we're going to work on. This one, I believe, is 8x10. If that doesn't work out, I have a number of smaller pieces here. These are 5x5s. All of the artwork in here is larger than a 5x5, so I don't think the little one's going to work out. But what I'm thinking is, if there's extra pieces, it's possible to knock out another one. One of the things that is important to me with the project is every book that I choose to use in the project, I can't give up on. One of the tasks I've assigned myself is never giving up on a book, trying to figure out a way to work with it. I've had things that only the cover made any sense, or only a few panels. The last I did several 4x4 collages, which were about an incredibly small amount of artwork to fill them. They went really, really quickly. I'm looking at one right now, which I believe has 5 pieces. But as long as it works and it looks cool, it doesn't matter how many pieces it has. This one's probably 20 pieces, but really, sorry guys, really, that's about me cutting everything I'm hoping to use. A lot of times you wind up cutting pieces out that don't work. With this, I cut a huge amount of pieces, and then what's left is just a few pages, really, because this was a short Mr. Monster story. There was a backup story, which I didn't care for. So this is what we were able to get out of there. So another thing that I like to do with collages is as soon as I have cut out everything I think makes some sense, I lay them out so that I could take a look at them, and start to begin the idea of making some sense out of them. One of the other tools I'll be using is this. This is a paper spatula. Unfortunately, I think I used it to open something, so the tip is bent. This helps you to move artwork, the pieces of paper around, because you'd be surprised how easy it is to get them stuck on, against your surface or on this. This here is a board that I painted with gesso, and
Hey, Daddy.
hold on just one second. My boy Mac is trying to, don't take it down, just open the front of it.
Here?
Yeah, and it's right in that pocket right there.
Right here?
There's a pocket on the bag, yeah.
Don't feel it.
Hold on one sec, you guys. Sorry about that, you guys. There seems to always be something going on when I'm trying to do this live stream. No one, I gotta lock doors around me because there's always somebody up in here. So anyway, we're gonna spread out the artwork that we have so far. Sorry that I feel like everything reflects.
I can't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it, Daddy.
Why don't you leave it there and I'll figure it out, okay?
Okay.
Right now I gotta do this.
Okay.
Thank you, buddy.
I'm going to Amir Mason. I'm just going to make sure my pad's charging.
Mason's here.
No? I'm going over to Amir Mason.
Okay. Sorry, you guys. So we're going to just lay out everything that we have for pieces. I'm going to try to beat this reflection as best I can. This one here is like the big payoff piece. This little character is a tiny demon. Let's go ahead and take me out. This piece right here is a piece that I accidentally cut into pieces, so we're going to have to build this one back again. Alright, just stick that there. This kid's grandfather is like some kind of vampire demon guy. He has this really funny, let's see if I could find the picture. I mean, I guess it's not really fun. Kind of like gross. He has this. All right, there you go. See this mark on his face? That's where a monster attacked him. So he's clearly a monster guy. All right. So just trying to be able to look at everything and see what we can use, what we can't use. These were all pieces that I felt like I could make work. Is this stuff here is magazine paper because it's the cover of the book. But I really like this weird little shack. I actually did a collage about a small shack kind of recently. They don't look tremendously the same, but the same idea. You know, it's like a horror cliche. The monster lives in a shack in the woods. So I don't want to put it where you guys can't see it. Right. Just want to be able to take a look at everything. My hope is to be able to use this 8x10 board here, but I'm not 100% sure. You know, we're going to kind of see what happens. There seems to be a lot of pieces to be able to fit here. I don't have to use them all. In fact, I rarely use every piece that I cut out. I had said a few minutes ago that I try to not give up on any book, and that is absolutely true. But I can give up on a panel. I can give up on, you know, like just a small image. There, one of the things that I think makes this interesting to me is the idea of it being cinematic in some way. Like, since I'm changing the story and adjusting how it works and stuff, it's sort of like there's an opportunity there to be able to create something different. You know, so that's using the camera work that the artist did and trying to manipulate it to make it work in a different way. This is fun. You know, this is maybe what makes it interesting to me. I'm not sure. I feel as though I've been waiting my whole life to do this project, so that is what it has become. The story here that I'm going to work with is the little demon character tries to poison his grandfather because his grandfather is a monster. He is also a monster. He's a little demon guy. No idea what I was trying to do with this. But so there's a lot of back and forth camera work going on with the pieces that I've chosen here. Looks like you guys can see mostly everything if I get me out of the way. Kind of a lot of stuff going on. Don't know how to fit it all. You know, this house in the forest, the house in the swamp thing, is something that I want to work with. You know, something that is a good place to start. One of the things that I always do with collages is try to create corners, because the more corners that you have, then the more you can lean into them. You know what I mean? Like, once we have a corner established, then we're just that much closer to getting the piece working. Now with this one, there was a significant amount of text in the middle of the inside back cover, including the name of the artist and that kind of stuff. So what I wanted to do is to be able to remove the text and still have the piece kind of work, because this here, the place in the swamp, is a great piece of setting, you know, that that we were able to come up with. You know, this panel here is the little demon guy showing up at his grandfather's house. Let's see if I can make any of this other stuff work. And I don't think I can. Oh, maybe that. Seems like a pretty good chance we're going to overlap a little bit of that anyway. So we'll set this one aside. These two I want to basically work together like this. So it's tree into tree. Alright. Hey. Here's my girl Mall stopping by.
Do you know what that is? Thanks. Bye.
Bye everyone, Mel says. Alright, so this character here, this is like the payoff panel, you know, the introductory panel of this kid. Interestingly enough, this kid has a Sam Hain shirt on. Pretty sure I listened to some Sam Hain in my life. So maybe we get. Oh. Try to make it work. All right, we got, unfortunately, like I said, I got these three pieces accidentally got cut up into three pieces. All right. So we know we got that panel. So we know that's going to be up in the beginning somewhere. And we know this panel here with Mr. Monster is going to be our final payoff panel, right? Because it's, you know, basically him catching up with the bad, you know, guy. So then it's like, you know, do you... Alright. I'll look through this stuff and see what we can pick up next. You know, there's a couple more panels I guess we didn't lay out. So the story is that the monster grandfather, the guy comes and tries to poison him. So he gets really, really angry. Understandably. This piece here could fit right in like this. Since we have a little bit of this top information going on, we can fit this guy in here a little bit. Now we don't want him in front of that one, so we just bring him over here, maybe over the way over there. Definitely going to have to trim this piece of, I don't know if you guys can see it. Bring this down a little. Hold on one sec, guys. All right, I would just like to have my live stream up behind me in case I'm doing something really foolish, you know, so I can check out the comments and stuff too. So if anybody has a comment, please throw it in there. I haven't really been getting a lot of comments lately, but that doesn't mean there isn't that I'm not interested. You know what I mean? All right, so back in here, see if we can maybe zoom in a little. What's going on here? Too much. Come on. Apparently my Zoom doesn't want to respond. The heck? One sec, guys. Huh. I don't know why that's not working. All right. There we go. So there's the zoom out. We need to zoom in a little, but I doesn't want to respond to that. I'm sorry, guys. I'm having a little camera trouble, so I will be right back. Come on. Just having a little trouble, guys. Hold on one second. See if we can get this camera to boot up again. Internet trouble, it's everyone, right? It's like, what's happening? All right, well, looks like that's about as close as we can get at the moment. I don't know why my phone's not responding, but we're going to give it a shot, see if we can get it to work. Looks like we got some significant buffering going on, since I am frozen right now. Okay. Locking off the thing. Oh man, I'm having some trouble with my gear. Come on, thing. Up here it's showing the right stuff, but it's not showing the right stuff on my screen. Sorry guys, this is a pain. Keep trying. Alright, let's try this again. It's hard to do a collage project without a top camera. We're going to keep trying and see if we can get anything to happen. Alright, let's see if we can zoom in a little. Alright, cool. So this is where we are. Sorry about that, guys. I really have no idea what was happening. I'm guessing that it's part of buffering, you know. All right, so we got this piece coming together. Of course, we lost a piece while I was wandering around. Oh, jeez. Another thing that always happens to me with this collages is losing something extremely important. Right. Just kind of taking a look at, you know, we're trying to lay out this piece. How we kind of, you know, want it to go. You find it's an interesting thing that collage is always set up top to bottom and always glue bottom to top. Okay, gives us a little bit of this the background stuff that we need. Up in this corner here, we need another little piece. I think we're gonna pull this guy and just chop this piece off, which we don't need. Alright, we just get this piece of vegetation off, which we might be able to use somewhere else. Get this guy up here. These little pieces are hard to hold together sometimes. So this kid's a demon, but it doesn't mean he isn't like a mischievous little kid. You know what I mean? Like he still is. So he decided to play a trick on his grandfather, who's a monster. So it's kind of a different kind of thing going on. All right. This piece here is more branches and stuff, but I don't know if it makes a lot of sense like that. Maybe we can see if we can trim out a little bit. Definitely not the best idea to do this that I'm going to do here. Alright. Okay. Let's see what we can do with that. Hopefully it'll not stand out as much. You know, once we have everything stacked on top of each other, it's a pretty good chance it's just going to look like more swampy kind of stuff. This is definitely the most tedious part of this work and the most touchy, because I can't tell you the number of times I've gotten everything right where I want it to be, then coughed or sneezed and moved everything. So try not to do that because it really screws up your stuff. I always say, you know, I'm not doing this work for you guys necessarily to do what I'm doing, because what if you didn't have a Mr. Monster comic that you wanted to work with, or any number of other, you know, I work with a lot of different stuff and media and stuff, and what I'm trying to do, honestly, is just to inspire you guys to do some work, not teach you really, or have you follow me. My work as a mentor is about folks watching me do artwork, which is something I really enjoy doing, and that is definitely what this project, you know, this work we're doing here, the live streams are about, is you guys watching me do some artwork. So I always feel extremely lucky to be doing what I'm doing for work. All I ever wanted to be when I was a kid was an artist, and now I am, which is pretty awesome, right? So now we have this really large piece of the guy beginning to drink, you know, pouring himself a drink. Don't know exactly how we can make that one work, because I don't so much want to cover this guy's skateboard. because it kind of makes him an interesting little character. So maybe we move this part over a bit. Maybe leave this one. What if this piece is the side piece? And then we can use this one. Well, I guess that wouldn't work because this kid has this big bump out going on. Alright, let's try that. Big bump out going on, like I said. One of my favorite difficult parts of doing these projects is trying to get paper under paper, you know what I mean? The spatula helps, but it is not necessarily a solution. It's kind of more like a patch.
Let's go get something.
Alright. Kind of liking what's happening right here. Just move this portrait of the old guy over a little bit so that we can cover the transition here. Kind of turns out I don't think we needed this extra well, yeah, I guess we did, so fine. Alright, so it seems like this piece needs this little bump out trimmed. So we got something happening here. Right? Okay. Right. Definitely going to take a little effort while gluing this to make it all make sense, right? But I feel like that's a really good start, right there. So he's grabbing this thing to drink it. I'm working on an old grooming table. Unfortunately, occasionally it's really sticky. Alright. So we know Mr. Monster needs to go right around right here. Get to the corner and stuff. Got to figure out something to do with that elbow sticking off the side. But we'll figure it out. know he gets, the little guy poisons him, so he gets really, really mad. Really don't think we can use all of this mad because it's going to cover him pouring into the glass. But he does get really, really mad. Try not to drop anything. Alright. This panel here is a little panel of him catching the guy, catching the little demon character. Can't cover the glass, so we'll put it here just until we think of something else that we can do. If we move this over a little bit. See, there is a lot of subtle adjustments and a little of this and a little of that, you know. It just kind of keeps going back and forth until eventually it seems to make some sense, or it kind of works out. A little bit more swampy kind of stuff, but I don't think that's going to help us. Okay. Right, gotta figure a way to get from this piece, which goes to here, here, and eventually there. Excuse me. We have to figure out a piece that we can put in there to bridge this tiny gap at the bottom. Pretty close, but we can't quite get this piece to stretch. See, like this one is just too small because of the height of the top piece. And we can go through and bump everybody down a little bit, you know, but it still doesn't quite give us enough. Know what I mean? See, like we keep losing things. You know, oh, no, we lost that. Oh, now we lost, you know, this. So we got to try to, as best we can, keep everything in really tight. So throughout this process, there's an awful lot of trimming this and trimming that and placing this and, trying to figure out ways to make it all, flow from one piece to the next. That can sometimes be really easy and sometimes not. Mhm. Right? I trimmed that off so that we could reuse this screaming section. You know what I mean? All right. It actually seems to fall together all right there. Right. So now we definitely need to trim back some of the pieces that are going to overlap with Mr. Monster. I think we're just going to go a little crazy and just do this. Right. So this is pretty much how I wanted this to look. So this is now the story of this little character poisoning his monster grandfather, and having Mr. Monster come and deal with the monster. Like his job is he's a monster hunter, and so that's his job. He goes and fights these monsters like Van Helsing, or there's a new character named Baltimore. He's a Dark Horse character, Mike Mignola. He's a monster hunter, specifically vampires, but monster hunter nonetheless. So now you saw that I had painted this. This is an artist board, a Blick artist board, and like I said, it's 8x10. I painted it black because this artwork, if there was a black section like here, and a little bit of the background showed through, then it wouldn't matter because the whole piece has a lot of black in it. So that's a benefit, like that's something that is helping, right? Yeah. And then everything starts to move on you. So you got to just get everything back where it was. Okay. Oh, there we go. Pull our Mr. Monster piece real quick. So now what I would do after laying this out, if I can bring it back to the way we had it, would be to photograph the piece and save, the design that we created here. This is a tremendously important step for me because otherwise I would go back in here totally cold and begin again laying out a collage. Now if you lay it out while you're gluing it, then there's a huge chance of making a significant error, and we don't want that. So just got to get it all into a spot where we can photograph it, and then once we start gluing things, everything starts to work better, quicker. There's a lot of adjustment that goes in to the process, once we're beginning to glue, because we're going to go in and make sure this works with that kind of thing, you know, that we can go from one piece to the next. But like I said, the whole story with this project is covering the background. All right. All right. Looks like we got a pretty good thing going here. Right. Hold on just one sec, guys. What are you doing, Mac? The gate for the fence fell? You gotta kind of try to stand it up again, okay, buddy? Your pad looks like it's right there. I don't need her pad. Why don't you put it with hers? Put it with yours. I'm still doing this. I just need a little while. Yeah. No, man, I gotta do this thing. I don't have time to plug it. I'll figure it out, though. That. Alright, so we're trying to figure out a way to make Mr. Monster slide in here without taking away all of the detail of these other pieces. Definitely the hardest part of this process is trying to figure out a way to bridge all the gaps and make everything stay making sense and that kind of stuff. Really, really small. But it's gonna work. All right. Okay. I think we were figuring we would cut across the floor here. It's pretty straight, so we can just cut right across that. Okay, so then we got a really straight surface. Alright, so now unfortunately we have to trim off a little bit of Mr. Monster's elbow so that he fits in here on the side. looks like that cut there didn't work out as well as I had hoped it would. But we can always put things back after a trim. You know what I mean? Right now, my dog is scratching at the door. She is mad that I haven't let her in here yet. She says, "What are you doing? I really need to get in there." Okay. Alright, just get in here a little bit closer. Now we wanted to use this little panel with a little monster guy yelling to help us fill this area here. Guess I'm gonna have to go let my dog in, since it seems as though she is not gonna stop barking. So I'll let her in. We're looking real good right there. Sorry guys, back together again. All right, this looks like what we kind of are gonna want to do here. Now the interesting part is I always take a picture, and here I don't know if I can. Interesting. What do I have around for devices that I could use to take a picture? I figured I would use my phone, but that's being used. Hey, sorry about that, guys. We're going to try a different camera just real quick while we take this picture so that I can use it. All right. Oh, there we go. So you see, all we're doing is taking a picture of that, and then we can use that picture as our reference as we begin the process of collaging it again. Right? So now we can take it and be able to look at it as we're working, so that you know, we can use it as a reference, like I said. But I can get a little bit of something happening here. Just need to, oh, really? All right, there we we go. Just want to throw this over here so that my reference can stay up on the screen. Okay. All right, so just trying to get up our image here. All right. You ever notice when you're all the way back through all of your photos that you can never really get there quickly? All right. So now, all right, try this again. Whoops. Ah, sorry guys. All right, back to it. So now I have the reference that we can use. Now that we have a photograph of it. Oh, always knocking something down while I move. Looks like we lost yet another piece somehow. All right, anyway, what I'm gonna do before I deal with losing this piece is we're going to take everything off. First, you want to take the pieces that I'm not using out, you know, like these. All right, so we just want to take the pieces that we've decided not to use away, and then take as many of the pieces we are using and try to place them over here and somewhere close to where they need to go. Right, so that we can find them to begin the process of reapplying them. Now I've got everything except the piece that I can't find. So it must have fallen on the floor somewhere. Well, you can't spend a lot of time looking because we don't have time for that. You know what I mean? So, gotta just be ready to move on. And if we can't find that piece, then we have to put something else there. You know what I mean? Try to figure out another piece to transition. Okay. So pretty much the first piece we put in was our big corner piece, which was this owl. Right? Gotta grab my brushes and my gel medium. So what we're using here is gel medium, 1-inch paintbrush. This is a Liquitex freestyle brush. Okay, so this one's not going to need all that glue, you know, but I don't mind picking up some glue onto the brush because it helps me glue the next couple of pieces. Right? That's a lot of glue right there. get this guy in here. I'm using gel medium because it gives you a little bit of wiggle time. You know, you put it down and you still have, you know, kind of like a few minutes before it's going to glue so much that that you can't work with it. One of the risks, for sure, is not getting enough on the end. You know what I mean? All right. Got that piece in there. So now we had our other piece that we were bringing up right up underneath, up to about here. All right, like right there. Yeah. Okay. Okay, got that background piece in there. Looking good. Nothing's worse than losing something that you want to use. So we just keep working from the reference. Oh, piece I forgot is our brayer, which helps to get all this paper as flat as possible. Okay. Okay. All right. Now we got this little piece of additional vegetation. Don't think we're going to use that one yet, but we were going to use this one. Whoops. Okay, got that guy in there. Bray that one. And then let's move on to the next spot. We need the wiggle room we mentioned. All right. So this guy is going to go right in here. All right. really move this dude. I guess that's pretty much where we want him to go. And we got this little tiny portrait of this guy. How come that does not work? Not enough on here this time. This time we need some more. So we want this guy to fit right in here. Right. Looks like I didn't get glue quite low enough, which happens to me kind of a lot. Okay. All right. Okay. We want this one in here. Right. So I think before we put the little kid in, always be careful you don't get glue on pieces that you don't want to get glue on yet. We got some here. Okay. How the hell I possibly misplaced that piece? But I definitely do it all the time, so I can't say I'm really shocked about it. It's a cool exercise to make yourself think laterally so that you can, bridge a gap between one place and another, bridge a gap between one piece and another. Okay, looks like pretty much everything overlaps on the Mr. Monster piece, which is going to go here, which is why I saved that one. if we went high enough. So now we got our big payoff panel laid in, so that's cool. Okay, I think we want to do the kid next. It's going to be our quarter panel here, so he's going to help us to fill in here. All right. Okay. A lot of times I'll just take a marker and bridge the gap here because that looks the best with the word there. Let's go with this so you don't have to be looking at me. Okay, move this guy over a little. Oops, not that much. Okay, so this is about where we're at right now. Okay, now we got the kid in there. That looks pretty good. And I think the next thing we needed was this big image here. Okay. Looks like that's kind of where we want that to go. Okay. Okay, we bray that guy. All right, so we need this one here. Okay. Now this always going to keep happening, which is that you hope, kind of just judge as far down as you think something would go, or the location that you want to place something, and honestly, just kind of hope that it works out there. Oh, one sec, guys. Hmm. All right, guys, sorry about that. So we got this guy in place here. He's looking pretty good to go. So now we want this little piece where he's taking the first sip. Whoops. Don't drop it. Okay. This piece down here. I can't do much with that. Okay. Oh, that doesn't go that way, it goes this way. All right. Oh, a little bit of junk hanging off the end of my glue. Okay. Okay. Unfortunately, now we're creeping up on the piece that I've misplaced, which is not cool at all. Okay. This is just kind of a little patch here for a spot that didn't work out as well as I wanted it to. So I'm going to have to figure out the best way to trim this out. So I usually just crease down the edge of the board to try to give an impression of where I want to cut. All right. Okay. Trying to just get this guy in here. Get where we need him. Man. Okay. So now if I want to trim the edge off, can't do it right now because it's covered in glue, which makes it tear extremely easily. Sometimes there's nothing you can do. You gotta just deal with it. Know what I mean? Just deal with it. I wish we had not lost that other piece, though. It just doesn't make any sense, really. Kind of wanted to do that under that one. So... Okay. Don't need that one. We need to glue this guy in. Okay. Got that one in there. That one. So now we need this big one. Oops, missed a spot. So now this big guy is going to take over this spot right here as low as I can, like that. Okay. Well, so unfortunately, now we're down to the piece I have misplaced. Literally this last piece here is what I have misplaced. So I don't really know what to do with that because I haven't gone anywhere, you know. I don't think so anyway. Well, let's take a look at this, where we're at on it. Looking pretty good. Gonna have to deal with this section, and I'm not sure exactly what to do with it. Yeah, just not super sure. I mean, I guess we could throw another little building down there. See how that looks. As soon as I glue this in here, I will find the piece I am missing. That is how it always goes. Okay. Try this one. Sometimes missing pieces are actually glued to the surface and you just didn't see them there. Doesn't seem to have happened this time though. I have not glued this piece down. It's just sitting here. I think it looks okay, but could look a little better. Just going to glue this down. If I find the other one, I can glue it over the top. But I kind of want the piece to be done so that we can wrap things up together and just have it look as cool as possible. Okay, so this is basically what I wanted to create today. So this guy here is Mr. Monster, and he is the star of our project here today. I could have just found that other piece that I wanted to use. What are you gonna do? So I'm going to stop there. We're about 15 minutes early for our usual wrap-up time. It is 6 now. I am sorry that I started late, but I had a nice time working with you guys. Sorry, guys. Hey, guys. Sorry, trying to work it. Thank you for coming out and working with me and being a part of the project. I hope you gained something from it. Every time I do a piece of artwork for you guys on this platform or on Facebook, it is super edifying for me, and I feel like helps me to get better as an artist. You know, that's just what it is. So thank you for the time and to helping to keep me here. If anybody has any questions or comments or anything that they would like to say or discuss, please throw me a comment on this video, or you can send me an email. I will respond as quickly as I possibly can. So again, all I would do now is I would take a marker and I would go over this whole piece to clean up transitions, to build visual effects and stuff that'll help us go from one panel to the next. So that's about it. I don't think that I will be here doing the same piece tomorrow because we're basically finished, but I would like all of you guys to have a great day, and and remember, try to do some artwork today. All right, this is your friend Dave Sebastian. I will catch you later.